The hallways of Jefferson High buzzed with the normal rhythm of teenage life, the shuffle of sneakers, the slam of lockers, and bursts of laughter that echoed like waves crashing against the walls. In that crowd, unnoticed and unseen, moved Layla Brooks, quiet, reserved, and painfully shy. With glasses that often slipped down her nose and books always clutched tightly against her chest, Layla had learned the art of invisibility. It wasn't that she didn't want friends, it's just that every time she tried to speak up, her words would betray her, caught in the net of her anxiety. Ever since she'd transferred schools, she had been trying to avoid attention. But life wasn't fair to the quiet ones. And on this particular day, as clouds gathered in the sky above and something darker brewed inside the school walls, Layla's efforts to stay hidden would be shattered. In a corner of the cafeteria, a group of notorious bullies lounged like vultures. Tyler, the arrogant football star with a twisted grin, Madison, the queen bee with venom in her voice, and Dex, the muscle without a mind. They had found in Layla a new victim. To them, she was an easy target. No allies, no voice, no resistance. For weeks they had poked, mocked, and embarrassed her, spreading rumors, knocking her books over, whispering vile names under their breath as they passed her in the halls. Layla never told anyone. She didn't want to be a burden to her teachers, and her dad, well, she barely saw him. He was always off training with his SWAT team, working late shifts, or flying out for high-level protection drills. Her mother had passed away when she was younger, and though her father loved her deeply, duty often pulled him away. Today, the trio of tormentors had decided to escalate. Tyler's words had been clear. We're gonna teach that mouse a lesson she won't forget. The bell rang, and the students scattered like ants. Layla was walking to the library when it happened. Out of nowhere, she was grabbed, one arm held by Dex, the other snatched by Madison, while Tyler followed behind, filming with his phone and laughing. Come on, freak, Madison hissed. Let's have a little makeover session. Layla struggled, but they were too strong. Her cries were stifled, her voice lost in the sea of other students who didn't dare look twice. They dragged her into the far wing of the school, where the old bathrooms hadn't been used in weeks due to a broken water line. The perfect place, the bullies thought. No one would hear. But fate had a different plan. Just across the field, in the school's adjoining training ground, previously a sports field now leased out temporarily by the city for elite training purposes, Layla's father, Commander Brooks, and his SWAT team were running high-level simulation drills. Unbeknownst to her, her father had taken special permission to be closer to Layla during her tough school transition. He hadn't told her. He wanted to surprise her that evening. But life, again, had its own script. Inside the dingy, cold bathroom, Layla was shoved against the wall. Tyler kept recording, laughing as Madison pulled out a pair of scissors and waved them mockingly. Let's fix those ugly bangs of yours, she jeered. Dex stood at the door like a guard, making sure no one entered. Layla trembled, her knees buckling. Please, please don't, she whispered, but her voice was barely a breeze. Tyler smirked. Speak up, freak. We can't hear your pathetic little. But just as Madison reached for her hair, a sharp, almost metallic bang echoed across the ground. It wasn't from inside the school. It was from outside, a part of the SWAT team's live-action breaching demo. Startled by the sudden sound, Dex opened the door slightly to peek out, and that's when everything unraveled. Through the slightly ajar window, Commander Brooks had seen a glimpse, a figure that looked too familiar. He'd caught sight of Layla being yanked into the building an hour earlier, but he assumed he was just being paranoid. Now, seeing movement inside the abandoned restroom wing and his paternal instincts flaring like wildfire, he barked into his radio, code red. Possible hostage. I'm going in. The team snapped into action like a well-oiled machine. What had started as a training session was now a real-world emergency. Meanwhile, Layla's terror grew. Madison had taken the first cruel snip of her hair, and Layla's eyes brimmed with tears. You'll wish you never came here, Tyler said with that sickening smile. But then came the footsteps. Fast, calculated, heavy boots pounding against tile. Dex turned and froze. He'd never seen a fully armed squad breach a hallway in seconds. The door was kicked open with such force that it flew off its hinges. And in stormed Commander Brooks, armor-clad, his rifle pointed down for safety but his eyes burning with fury. Behind him, the rest of the SWAT team fanned out in tactical precision. Hands up. Now. The commander bellowed, and the entire bathroom was paralyzed. Madison screamed, dropping the scissors. Tyler tried to hide his phone. Dex raised his arms, shaking. But Brooks wasn't done. He shoved Tyler's phone out of his hands, grabbed his daughter gently but protectively, pulling her behind him. "Did they touch you?" he asked in a low voice. Layla, tears running down her cheeks, nodded silently. That was all he needed. "You three are done," he growled, his voice a storm barely contained. The school principal had already been alerted by the team outside. Within minutes, local police arrived, and the bullies were cuffed and led out, faces pale with fear, completely unaware that the school had CCTV footage synced with the SWAT's external body cams. That video would be shown at the school board, and possibly court. As Layla sat quietly on the steps outside, still shaken, a gentle hand rested on her shoulder. It was her father. He knelt beside her. "I'm so sorry, baby. I should have been here sooner." She looked at him, eyes red but grateful. "You were here just in time." The media caught wind of the story within hours. The footage from the SWAT cams was blurred for protection, but the heroism displayed by the team, especially a father storming in to rescue his daughter, went viral. The school began reforms immediately, launching anti-bullying programs, anonymous reporting tools, and a zero-tolerance policy for harassment. But more importantly, Layla found something that day: her voice. The once shy girl who struggled to speak now stood in front of classrooms and assemblies, sharing her story, inspiring others, proving that bravery isn't about how loud you speak, but how you rise when you're dragged into darkness. And from that moment on, she was never invisible again.